Welcome to your D122 W1 Graphic Design 2 to P6 and then P7, our final projects of the semester. And the first part is going to involve designing a logo and redesigning a logo, I should say. And then we're going to put it into a web comp. So let me just show you around a little bit just so you know what you're doing here. If you go to Documents and Resources and go down to Unit 13 under Handouts, there's a whole bunch of logos in here. There's links in here. There's a sample, and let me just show you the sample. This is a web page sample, and we worked on this last spring of 22, and we worked on a logo, and then we put it together in a web comp in Figma, and that's the first time we started using Figma. And we also do the coding for this in our web design class, but we're going to be focusing on just the comp for now, just kind of the layout. And we don't have to do it exactly like this. We can use a hero image, like a large image with information on top and navigation at the bottom. We don't have to necessarily get into coding it unless we have time. Now, first of all, don't panic about time. I know you're thinking, oh, this is unit 13 is almost over. We're starting 14 and then 15, and that's it. We have about 3 weeks, so we have plenty of time to work on this. So I want this to be a nice project to finish up with, both the logo and a web comp to finish up with, and then with some multimedia and some of the other things, you'll have some nice pieces at the end of the semester. So I just want to go over this a little bit and show you your options as far as redesigning a logo. This Wells lawn care is something that we redesigned. And I think this was my idea that I worked on, because I would always work on things in class with students. Simplified the original one, and it had a little bit of a leaf here that I incorporated into the W and also incorporated into the S. So it has Wells there with kind of a leaf for an S. So that was kind of my idea for that. And a very simple kind of lawn care sans serif. I'll zoom in here. You can see what it looks like, kind of a scripty, casual script, and leaf, lawn care, simple. And I'll show you the original too. So anyway, that's kind of where we're going, and that's just one of the options. Now, this is the original logo, and you can see why I chose to redo it, because I don't know what's going on with it, but it's really messy looking, has some kind of Japanese look to it, just not a good clean logo for a lawn service. Looks very messy. This is one that we did a couple of years ago. This is older. I just put this here as an example, but this was a redone. It's not a bad example. You could do it as something different, but it's kind of older because it has an oval and different images, and that would be something that would be nice to simplify. So you could certainly work on something like this and simplify and have it be a little more open and not enclosed. Speaking of enclosed, Joshua Tree Experts, they're around me, and they're a very successful lawn care company. But their logo is very busy looking. It has a lot of different colors in this tree over the J. It has a serif font, very small in here with fine lines. There's this long thing going on the T, and it's in a awkward looking leaf, and then it just has experts thrown in here and some script. There's some grass. It's just really an amateur looking logo. No offense to them, they're a great company, and they probably do have an updated logo since then, or at least I hope so, but this is not what you'd consider a professional looking logo. This looks like a student logo. Has a lot of different things going on. It's not clean, it's not focused, and it's hard to read from far away. When you get far away, that's very small in there, you can't even read the experts, so that could use a redo. So that would be a nice logo to redo. And then also there's R&R Lawn Service, and we could go to the websites too, but you can see this uses that Broadway kind of font, which we worked on a roofing company that had this really not a nice looking font for logos. It has a lot of fine lines in it, and then heavy lines, not really easy to read in all caps, and not really appropriate for a lawn service. And then it has a globe over here, so it's got kind of a organic looking globe and then a Broadway font, just not really a nice setup of a logo. So that's a nice one to redo and focus on R&R and then Lawn Service Inc. Again, everything's kind of at the same level here, where R&R should really stand out. R&R should be the main, and then Lawn Service Inc. should be secondary. So whatever they're doing here is just not really working. The colors aren't really great. You could try and do something with the colors, but if you're going to use green and blue, I guess orange contrasts a little bit, but not a real good look. This one, Lehigh Valley Lawn, it's not bad, but it looks very generic. And also they have just a serif font down here, kind of slabby serif. It's kind of in between a slab serif and a serif. It has some square serifs on it. Not a bad looking font, but this logo in here, this icon, is very busy. It's got a circle with blue and yellow, and it's got grass, wavy grass, and then it's got little kind of sharp grass, and it's got a house, and it's got a tree, and it's got leaves on the tree, and then it's got all the seasons here. Oh, let's get in winter and fall and summer and spring and all this. They're trying to put too many things in one logo, and it's just too much. Put a house with grass. That would be enough, but there's just too much going on here, and that's sometimes what people try to do with logos. They try to throw everything in there. Well, we do it all seasons. We do this, we do that. It's just too much. It's too much going on. And I know we've watched videos in Graphic Design 1 about trying to put in too many elements in a logo, and this needs to be simplified, and the colors need to be simplified, and this is a great one to work on. But either redo this one, redo this one, redo this one, redo this one. This isn't bad, but it needs to be simplified, or redo this one. I don't think I have any others here. Lawnlove.com. That may have just been an example. That's actually not bad. It's simple. Simple leaf. I actually like it. It's simple. I like simple, and simple works. Lehigh Valley Lawn, this is the one that has all that different stuff going on up there. Again, not a nice looking logo to look at. Again, I'm not saying anything about their company. I'm sure the company is very successful, but too much going on. And R&R Lawn Service, this is just too much. That logo needs to be worked on. It doesn't really look like a lawn service. I know they're trying to get the globe or organic. I don't know what the deal is. They're pet friendly, whatever it is. That doesn't really say professional to me over here. I know they're working with nature, blah, 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 but that doesn't look professional. So you want to look professional if you're doing lawns. Joshua Tree, let's see, they may be updated. No, they still have that. No offense. I mean, they're a great company and they're very successful. That's an awful logo. For such a successful company, that looks like somebody in high school did that for them. So they need some help with that. And grounds guys, let me see this one. That's actually not bad. That's probably an example of something good, and I think that's maybe where I got the idea of the leaf for that Wells one. But this is nice looking. It's nice and clean. That's what you want. So this is what you want for a logo. Grounds guys and that Lawn Love. You want simple, clean, that works nice on a mobile device, anything like that. All this other busy stuff is just not really, this kind of thing is not very clean. I mean, it doesn't convey, a clean landscaping job. I mean, are there edges like that? You know what I mean? It looks like some kind of Japanese tea shop or something. This is just too busy. It needs to be cleaned up. It has a nice sans serif font and it has a nice script font underneath, but maybe it could be cleaned up and made more simple and open, so it doesn't have to be in an oval. Again, we talked about this, we talked about this, and we talked about that. So some great examples of logos that need to be improved. So you could choose any one of them and work on them. And after you get your logo together, get maybe 3 good ideas together. And remember, focus on type first. Focus on type and then see how you can accent it with some kind of icon or something after it. So make sure it works even without a leaf, without a tree, without grass. Make it work first and then introduce some kind of element that brings in lawn. Like maybe just work on Lehigh Valley Lawn first and then think about how you could have a simplified house. Or maybe just grass. Maybe you don't need a house and a tree and all that. Maybe you just need grass. Wavy green line under here might be perfect. R&R Lawn Service. I don't know, maybe you could do something a little more custom with the globe. That just looks like a clip art globe, like they just went to Google Images and just looked for globe and they came up with it and then just stuck that font in there. So, you could do something with maybe a globe, but maybe it has a leaf in it, or I don't know, just some ideas. This is your chance to be creative here and come up with a nice logo. And then we're going to put our logo into a landing page. Now, let me show you this in Figma because this is kind of cool. Here's a mobile layout, which is a little bit different. It's one column. Well, actually, let me show this one first. This one's the original one. The typical kind of navigation going across, logo up there. It's got kind of a headline and some information, image here, logo here. Not a bad looking layout. And then for mobile, it looks like this. So everything's kind of contained in one column, a lot cleaner. And what's cool about this in Figma is we could hit this little play button over here and it puts it in a device, so it's a nice way to show off your design. Look how nice that looks, showing how it looks like on a phone, your prototype. That's what we're calling this, a prototype here. So we have a prototype for our mobile layout and we have a prototype for our web layout. I'll click on that one. So that's what we're working towards. Don't worry about the prototype yet. And that's how it looks on the laptop. So that's a nice way to present your logo, and we could come up with some kind of layout. We don't have to, spend a whole lot of time on layout. We don't have a whole lot of time left, but you could just do something like a hero image, and I'll give you some ideas. I'll record some more videos and give you some more ideas. Once we get to that point, this will be P7. Actually, laying this out in a prototype for a web page is going to be P7. So we'll do that for P7. P6 is going to be coming up with a logo. So don't do exactly what I did there, but you have a couple of logos to work with to redo. So what we're going to do is we're going to call this P6. You could just go right into Figma. I'll go right here and I'll go back to my files. You're just going to start it off and go new design file. And you're going to go up here to frame and you're going to make it a paper and just do letter. That's all you need to start. And then give it a name. Once you click here, give it a name. Double click on here, call it P6. And whatever you're doing, maybe you're doing R&R logo. And then put your last name, first initial. That's all you have to do. And then start working on some ideas for your R&R. If you want to download the logo or copy it, let me see what you could do here. If you have R&R and you want to look at it, let's see. You can copy image. And you could go back here and you can, I think, just paste it. There, you can paste it so that you have a reference of the original on here, and then keep working on here. And that way you could maybe borrow some things about it or match some colors or just kind of use it as a reference to how you want to start. Now again, for R&R, I'd recommend making R&R really stand out, and then Lawn Service Inc. being below it, being secondary, like the way we've worked on logos before. Not R&R Lawn and then Service Inc. That doesn't make sense. R&R should really stand out. And then whatever you want to do with the globe or whatever, or a circle with a leaf in it, I don't know if that globe really has any kind of importance into the logo. I'd rather see you mess with R&R a little. Maybe there's something cool you could do with a globe and put R&R inside the globe or something like that. But anyway, I want to give you some freedom here to work on some logo design and focus on that first and keep it simple. Again, look at the examples I have of simple ones. Again, this is what you want to look at. You want to look at ground guys. That's good. That's simple. Something like that. Look at Lawn Love. That's good. That's simple. Simple, clean is what you want. You don't want messy and busy and all kinds of different things going on and all kinds of colors going on. Consistent, clean. You've worked on logos in Graphic Design 1 and we've done enough of it. So come up with a nice logo and then we'll put it together in a nice web comp. So that's what we're going. So P6, get started on that. Again, you're going to get started on here, try to get some ideas together, get maybe, 3 or 4 ideas, start working with fonts a little bit. I'll record some videos doing another one other than Wells. Anyway, pick one out and get started on it, and let me know if you have any questions. Share your link with me if you want me to look at anything, even if you're just getting started out and you want to share something with me, share it, send me the link and email it to me because that's always the quickest way. So that's what we're going to be doing for P6, and then P7 we're going to start building a web prototype or a web mock-up or a web comp, whatever term you want to use for that. And if we have any time, we might do some coding with it, but we're going to kind of work with that because I like the idea of having something like this to present at the end. I think that's pretty cool. So that's what we're going to be working on. So get started on that.